Hi, so today's question, what kind of advice would I give my younger self? Hi, Viv Bannigan here, dedicated founder of Grown Well. Now, this question, what advice would I give my younger self, has come up in the past. It's something that repeats because we move forward in life, we don't move backwards. So we can start to evolve and reflect on this, but it's about coming into our authenticity. We come to a fork in the road. Psychology shows that there's forks in the road, there's keystones. Many of them happen most of them happen from our childhood up to our mid 20s, and then they're longer between. So by the time we're in our mid 20s, we're very much still being affected by the environment that's around us, and then there's kind of more of a break for about 10 years, and then we get to our mid 30s, late 30s, and come to a fork road in the road again, and then we have a choice about how we're going to evolve in ourselves, in our paths, and then we'll have more kind of key stages which are over longer periods of time throughout life. And at those periods of time, it's about reflecting on what happened in the past and how do we transform that knowledge, seeing it from a different part of view so that it can become wisdom. So the best way of describing this, and the way that I describe it to myself, is that there are events that happened, particularly in my mid-20s, which impacted me quite an awful lot, to make me really start to question my intuition, start to question my role in life. I've started to become really curious about creativity. I started to become really curious about the universe, God for some people, spirit for others. I started to kind of really get more into my feminine energy because I wanted to be able to have a broader perspective on what things were going on. Mainly because some of the experiences that I had quite lost my voice. I'd lost my footing. I didn't feel grounded. And I really wanted to be able to navigate what was going on in my environment because I just felt very, very misaligned and misplaced. And some of the experiences I was having was way over my pay grade. That was really how I saw it. They were way over my pay grade, and there wasn't anything that was really able to help me move through them, except for I did what I've always done. I went to the books, I talked to people, I reached out, I observed. I shut down in some ways just to preserve myself because I wanted to keep in line with my own authentic self. And as the years went on, the opportunity then came to kind of start to reopen some of those experiences, start to see them in a different way, start to transform some of what was painful experiences and see them in different ways, and start to engage more with my natural unique gifts and talents, recognizing that certain steps or avenues or experiences that I had in my younger years were beyond my control. But that took time because there was an element of, well, if I had known what I knew now, I wouldn't have done it that way. Kind of a blaming thing, a blaming, shaming of a younger part of me going, why didn't you do it this way? Or how did you look at it that way? Or why did you make that decision? Or if you could go back now, you would do things differently, which is very much a kind of shaming, blaming, you just didn't do it perfectly. And I've had to cultivate a compassion to say, well, yeah, that's fine to say, but I'm now at a certain age and I've done X amount of work and I've engaged with different various people, and I've gone back and I've studied and looked at this, and I've started to recognize that I need to kind of forgive myself that I was doing the best that I could do with what I had at the time, and maybe develop more compassion for that younger version of myself whose heart was in the right place, intentions were in the right place, the communication wasn't there because it hadn't been served yet. It was part of my mission to go and learn how to better communicate. And recognize as well that when we are influenced that young and up to that age, we think we're grown up in our 20s. Well, I thought we were all meant to be grown up in our 20s. Didn't quite work out that way. But we start to see that some of these patterns, some of these behaviors, they're passed down generationally. So I remember working in a circle one day and just hearing somebody saying, just didn't stand a chance, and then that suddenly got me feeling and thinking, going, actually, I need to be a bit more forgiving with myself, allowing it to come up, allowing myself to come up and release all of the harshness that I might be putting on myself, to forgive myself. And this is an ongoing, because in economics we talk about rational decision making, but there's no such thing, because no human being is going to be able in their brain, because remember, our brains are like record players and not iPods, is going to have every single fact. We can only deal and make rational choices that we believe are there, based on balancing our mind with our feelings, and also being conscious of what's going on around us. And in our younger years, we are more reliant on other people, whether that's family and friends, to move through life, to get safe. As we get older, we start to individuate more, and so we start to have more choices about how we want to have our authenticity, how we want to engage with different people, how we want our creativity to show. So my advice to my younger self is that I look back at those times and I do it with creativity and with curiosity. What if things had been different? What would life have been? But actually, what did I learn from that journey? Because if, particularly one instance in my mind, if I knew now what I know now then, it wouldn't have given me the journey that I would have had. It wouldn't have given me the experience that I had. It wouldn't have opened up those opportunities to be more curious about the world, to be more curious about my intuition, to be more curious about my creativity. And so the advice I would give to my younger self is, you're doing the best that you can do. We can only do the best that we are doing at the time. It's looking back to see what do we need to release at that time, so that we're not holding on to any of that shame or fear or pain, that we're getting what we need to be able to transform it, to create it into something else, into that wisdom that we can then use to make different choices when we're older. So our invitation today for the Just Stop lesson is to ask yourself, what kind of advice would you give your younger self? What would you like to go first? If you could do something differently, or if you had that opportunity arose now. So if you had an opportunity in the past that you look back and go, that didn't quite go the way I wanted it to go, and now you kind of go, well, if I got a second opportunity, based on all of the wisdom that I've gathered because of that, what would I do differently? How would I approach it? And where do you have to forgive yourself? Where do you have? I know loads of things I have to forgive myself for and forgive other people for, and then look to make decisions from an authentic place, from making it from that female leadership of, I know what I think now, I know how I feel, I know I can move, and I'm consciously aware of what's going on around me, and so I'm going to make choices that are going to be in the best interest of my well-being, because I've engaged with that process, because I've learned that lesson, and I see a new window of opportunity to put that wisdom into practice and then see what happens. It's like being in a giant chemistry lab. It's amazing. So that's our video for today, because your life purpose is to evolve. It's about moving forward. It's about evolving. It's about bringing your creativity into the world. It's not about perfectionism, and we cannot undo things that we heartfelt did. When you do something that's heartfelt and you're doing it with the best will in the world to have the right outcome or to keep yourself safe, then that is what you need to do at that time. It's when we look back, we can have compassion for that, and then we can start to look at other opportunities to be able to create more of a safer space, so we can do the things that we want to do. So take a leap of faith, be courageous. This isn't all about having courage, about, what would you do with that wisdom now that you have it and you have transformed that to go forward? Where would you take that leap of faith? Because when we take that leap, then we will be supported in that, and we don't have to go out and run out and do it. It's about starting to expand that awareness within ourselves so that we can start to manifest it into our external world. And remember, the first person one needs is oneself, mind, body and spirit. So just a little bit about Grown Well. We are a bespoke training and mentoring company. I work with women who feel lack of confidence, may feel overwhelmed, looking to understand better their unique landscape and vision for their future. And we do this by sharing tools, techniques and services. So we are starting Her Leadership Circle. This is only a small number of women that we're going to bring together on full and new moons. The first one is this Saturday. And you can find out more information about a circle, what it is, why it's important and what we'll be doing on our website, as well as I'm offering personal sessions. These are 60-minute energy readings where we combine the tree of life and systemic constellations to look at the challenges that you're currently facing in your environment so that you can start to look at the opportunities for making different choices. And additionally, we have our flagship program, the MAP, which works through mastery, action and passion. If you'd like to know more information about that, please do go onto our services tab or go register for our free Masterclass Navigating Change with Intention, which will work through all about intention setting, what intention is, why it's important, how to create intention, and additionally it will talk to you a little bit about the map, and there's a free gift for just downloading it. It's free, there's a workbook. Go ahead and have some fun with that. So till next time, have a wonderful time. If you need any more information, please do check out our website, www.grownwell.co.uk. If you find Grown Well a bit difficult to spell, don't worry, you can also put in www.vivianbannigan.com and you will still come to the same website, and you'll be able to find out a bit more about our Pirate Queen and our female archetype Grown Well. So till next time, take care and goodbye.